Hello and welcome to Backlinking, the PKM podcast. In today's podcast episode, we are talking about this idea of productivity as always being the idea of doing more and accomplishing more. And I think that I have to get back to this from time to time because this is an issue in the productivity space and generally that in a time where we have the internet and we're able to compare ourselves to others, it is always easy to think that you should be doing more, you should be listening to books in 2 times speed and taking notes while taking the dishes, this notion of always having to do more, accomplish more, and not a single second of your life should be spent doing quote unquote unproductive things, which I I feel like I have to come back to this every now and then because it is important. And as someone who makes content in the productivity space, I think it is important to mention this as a reminder from time to time because a lot of these applications and productivity tools we use, the goal is to get more things done, and sometimes you will have to get more things done. I'm not saying that you should never strive to do more, and it is also personal differences. I feel like I am being really productive most of the time. I have my day job, I have all of these YouTube videos I film, and I film like 5 YouTube videos each week, and I try to publish at least one blog post each week. Sometimes it is more, but at least one blog post. So in my case, I'm able to do a lot because I enjoy a lot of the things I am doing. But this isn't this isn't necessarily about what I'm doing. But I just had to mention that because one of the reasons why I felt that this was a good time to film this video is because I've been struggling a little bit with just being tired and struggling to find the motivation and just figuring out how to be able to do all of the things I have to. And it is like I'm struggling to find the words, but the point is that sometimes a break is actually what you need, and not doing more, not trying to do more, not trying to accomplish more, not like putting more on your plate. I've been trying to use more tools to help me, like my pocket notebook, to help me think differently and kind of work differently and be more aware of that. And I'm not having any issues. I'm a little tired today, but generally I feel like things are going very, very well. So let me just put that out there. But on a day where I was a little tired and it felt like there was too much to do, or things haven't gone the way I want, I felt like that was the perfect time to just do a quick podcast episode about this because it is so easy to sit down and watch all of these YouTubers or all of these people on social media and feel like they are doing so much more than you are, and starting to compare yourself to others and feeling like you should get out of bed and do more, or you should stop playing video games and do more, or you should stop watching Netflix and do more. And I think there are multiple things here. The first is what's your goals? Because a lot of these productivity influencers who teach productivity, they have huge goals. I used to use this example of becoming a football player. Um, the chances of becoming a football player is just so low that you will have to sacrifice some things, and sometimes that means your mental well-being, and we can discuss whether or not that is good or bad, a discussion for another podcast episode. But if that's your goal, you will probably have to work more. And for a lot of these YouTubers, their goal is to be YouTubers, and therefore their life is totally different than someone who has a day job and a family who just wants to get through his or her job and just get back home to spend time with family, with friends, and that is okay, and that should be totally okay. But when you start to see all of these YouTube videos, it is so easy to start to compare yourself to them, even though they are living totally different lives. So my point with all of this is that like your ambitions and your goals should correlate with your workload. So I know in my case, like I've said it many times, I dream of becoming a content creator. Therefore, I will have to work on some days where I don't necessarily feel like it. But if I do that for too long, like if I'm feeling over time that I'm struggling to find the motivation, or I'm tired, or I feel like my mind and my body is telling me that it is time to take a break, I will have to take that break, because the consequences are just that I won't be able to work for longer, because at some point, like it will, my body will say stop, and that means stop. So taking breaks and listening to yourself is so important. And even in my case, where I like work a lot, I try to take like full days or weekends off whenever I'm feeling that it is needed. And it is again a little different, because like if I need to relax, which is so weird, if I need to relax, or I need to like just sit down and not think about anything and feel like just turn off totally and do something that makes me really happy, it is one of two things. It is either testing productivity applications, testing notebooks, or watching videos about those things. That is like my dream, is to do that every single day. Like my life would be perfect if I have had a long day at work. I will go home and I will watch Microsoft tutorials on how to use Microsoft products. Like that's just how I am, which is wild, but like that's who I am. That's what I enjoy doing. So in my case, a lot of these like filming these videos and standing in front of the camera and testing out different productivity applications, that's how I recover from a tough day at work. And even though like that is the way I recover, sometimes I even need a break from that. And today felt like one of those days, but as I'm like talking and filming and making this video, I am feeling much more energized. I don't know if you can like see it or hear it, but I started or I am more upbeat now than when I started this podcast episode, because like I enjoy it that much, and I think it is important to find types. I think productivity is more about that, and that here is my point. Like productivity is about doing things more efficiently, so you can have more times for the things you want. That for different people that might mean different things, but in my case, it is like doing this. This is the thing I want to do. But since it is some kind of work, since this is a kind of work, I will need to take breaks from this as well, and that is totally okay. And as I said, I take like full weekends off. I take full weeks off a lot of the time. Like I have filmed all of my videos for December, so I will take the 2 or 3 last weeks of December just off totally. I take at least 2 weeks in the summer, one where I am fully shut off. I take like full weekends where I just sit and watch sports for several hours. So there are a lot of things like that I do to take care of myself and to like listen to the signs I get. And sometimes I've pushed myself for too long, which has ended up in burnout and depression and just me generally struggling. But a lot of the time I feel like I've gotten to the point where I know, at least I think I know when I should take a break. It isn't like if I would always know, this wouldn't be an issue at all, but a lot of the time I actually think I know when I'm pushing too far and I need a break. And all of this to just say that, like, productivity and productivity influencers, even though there is a lot of great content, and I'm not like attacking any content creators out there, there is a lot of great content. I think it is still important to remember that they often live different life than you do. You might have a job, you're not a business owner, you don't want to be a business owner, you just want to do things a little more efficiently so you have more time for your friends, family, children, if you have that. And that is totally okay, but in that case, like a lot of the things, a lot of the things or a lot of the videos, they might not necessarily be for you. A lot of the content around productivity might not necessarily be for you. Um, and it is really important not to compare yourself to others when it comes to productivity routine, when it comes to anything. Like, we are different, we live different lives, and our productivity journey, just like everything else, is different too. I think that is all I want to say about this. As usual, thank you so much for watching or listening to today's a little weird podcast episode. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching or listening to today's episode.